everyone. Well, welcome to our Friday Five. This week we have Rebecca Griffith, who is one of our dyslexia specialists, and she recently wrote our blog on some of the social emotional needs of our students with dyslexia. So, Rebecca, if you can just briefly describe your understanding of the emotional needs and emotional work that students with dyslexia need to do or can encounter just based on your own experiences as a mom and an educator.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I've seen in my work is that children with dyslexia are often doing twice the work just to keep up. They're constantly solving puzzles that other kids don't even realize exist. And what this does is it kind of creates this ongoing emotional weight, feelings of shame and frustration. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart. I'm stupid can start to really creep in pretty early on.
Yeah.
And that's why the emotional piece has to be a part of how we support these children. It's not just about structured literacy and teaching them phonics. It's about helping them feel safe and seen and understood as they tackle this hard work.
Yeah, definitely. So in your blog, you give three ways to help kind of balance that scale. Can you talk a little bit about how to make that happiness bigger while also validating that hard stuff? I really loved the way that you had those phrased in your blog.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So that emotional weight that I was just talking about, kids can start to internalize this idea that they're bad at school, and that narrative is pretty heavy, right? And so we want to make sure that we are carving out time for happiness. Making happiness bigger just means intentionally building in moments where the child feels successful, where they shine. And that could be through music, it could be through humor, it could be through art or a sport, but intentionally reserving space for pride and joy can really help tipping that emotional scale back into balance. And one other part that's really important to this is that we can't we that's important, and we need to make sure that we are not just glossing over the hard stuff. It's so important to validate it and say, yes, this is hard and I see you working hard. I'm so proud of you for sticking with this. And one of the things I like to do, I talk about this with my own children a lot, and also with the kids I work with, is that hard doesn't have to be scary. Hard just means where the work is right now, right? So yes, this is hard. We're doing it. This is where our work is, and we're gonna beat this. Like, we're gonna get it, and then it's not hard anymore. And we move on and we see, oh, where does our work lie next? So hard, it just means it's where our work is. So yes, validating what's hard. I see you. We're gonna get through this, and making sure that you have reserved time for joy and that a real sense of pride, like finding something else that the child is good at in another part of their life.
Wow, that's so powerful, especially those words, I see you. That's, I think, what everybody wants in the end.
Right.
And so to be able to say that to our children is very powerful.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so your final point in the blog was to teach children that emotions do change. So what were some of the practical strategies that you had where we can really do this and help our children understand that?
Yeah, I think that, with kids, they often believe that how they're feeling in this moment is permanent. And so when frustration hits, it can feel really, really heavy, right? And so I think it's important to introduce the idea that emotions can come and they can go. So kind of like the weather, you could talk to your child like, just like the weather, emotions come and go, and then give it a when an emotion arises that feels uncomfortable. You can, I think, naming that emotion and then pairing it with an action can really help kind of the child process the emotion in real time, which is ultimately what we want to do. We want to process the emotion in real time so that it doesn't get covered up and bubble up later on in unexpected situations. And so if you name the emotion, I'm feeling frustrated, let's pair it with an action. Let's go get a drink of water. Let's take some short breaths. Do we have time to take a quick walk? Come back after, you've kind of worked through the emotion, you come back, you're fresh and ready to start again. And so I think just helping kids process those emotions by naming, pairing it with an action can really help them just kind of understand that emotions can shift, and it's a great model for regulation.
That is very powerful. I love that, doing those steps, naming it, and then pairing it with an action. And
Yeah,
I think all adults need to learn how to do that too.
it's so true. Emotions, like the ones that feel uncomfortable, we're usually just so ready to like get rid of them or just pretend they're not there or just ignore them. And I think really the power is leaning into them, and just making sure we're honoring that emotion. And yeah, it might be uncomfortable, but the more you do that, the more you realize it doesn't stay with you. It
Yeah,
moves, and you can move on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for joining us for our Friday Five. We do offer free consultations, so feel free to reach out if you'd like to speak to one of us about your child's social emotional well-being or their dyslexia. The link to Rebecca's blog post is in the comments, so feel free to go check it out. Thanks so much. Until next
Thanks,
time.
Jen. Bye.